Welcome back to Life with the Spectrum. I'm your host, Gina Cavalli, and as our kids age, behaviors change. Some kids grow out of ABA therapy, but then some other behaviors can come into play, like self-harm or harming others, and that's the last thing that we need to happen. I found a hospital right here based in Atlanta called Laurel Heights Hospital, and inside Laurel Heights, they offer a residential treatment program for teenagers with autism spectrum disorder, addressing those behaviors head on with some more intensive therapy. But the great part is they can continue to go to school. So with me today, please welcome Corey Jackson, the CEO of Laurel Heights Hospital, to the show. Hi, Corey. How you doing?
Hey, good morning, afternoon at this point, Gina. I'm well. Hope things are well with you.
Hey, Corey, explain what is Laurel Heights and how long you guys have been around.
Well, Laurel Heights has been in the community for more than 30 years here in the metro Atlanta community. We are an adolescent children's hospital. The difference about what we do here at Laurel Heights Hospital is that we are the only facility in the under the UHS umbrella that serves adolescents and children on a stabilization and long-term RTC capacity.
And so how many patients do you have, like short-term and long-term?
The facility for short-term, which is acute care, is able to hold up to around 32 patients that we're able to serve from the ages of 6 to 17. Short-term meaning, you have an average around 3 to 5 days for treatment. The unique part about Laurel Heights Hospital is that we do serve the population of autism. And we have those beds dedicated to serve the autism population depending on the need of the community. So we have a unit of 16 beds, but sometimes the community needs more. So we're able to expand those beds and vice versa from autism to general psych. In long term...
Okay, so that's just the short term then?
That is just short term, yes.
Okay, and then long term?
Long term, we're able to serve up to 87 patients. The unique part about our long-term program is that we have 2 dedicated adolescent autism units. Average for long-term, you're looking at in and about 3 to 6 months, just depending on what the patient is working on and what the treatment plan allows for the goals to be. So we do have a level 1 unit dedicated, level 1, level 2 autism dedicated unit, as well as a level 2, level 3 dedicated unit, which was just created at the start of 2023. So we're entering our second year of having an increased footprint of autism services at the hospital.
Well, we all appreciate that. When we get back with Corey Jackson, the CEO of Laurel Heights Hospital, we're going to find out a little bit about the different programs that are offered there at Laurel Heights. Stay with me.
It can be hard to find a sitter you can trust, even more so if your child has special needs, autism, cerebral palsy, Down syndrome. As parents, we have to protect our children. My Special Sitter has you covered, in-home or on the go. When you need a sitter you can trust, respite is just a click away at myspecialsitter.org.
Welcome back to Life with the Spectrum. I'm your host, Gina Cavalli. With me today, Corey Jackson, the CEO of Laurel Heights Hospital. Now, you've mentioned the short-term and the long-term care, but what are the programs that are offered specifically at Laurel Heights Hospital?
Yes, ma'am. So in short-term care, which is stabilization, we have what we call our breakthrough unit.
Okay.
Breakthrough is a dedicated specific autism unit that, again, is for an average of 3 to 5 days. In that program, it's more stabilization. So what that means is a patient in the community is having some difficulties, some acting out self-harm, maybe some suicidal ideation, increased aggression. They can come in and we will do assessments for med management, looking at what we can add to the regimen to increase their ability to stabilize in the community. For the autism population, we're doing a lot of work with families. So we do family interventions during that time as well. Given the fact that we have kids on the low and high side of the spectrum, the treatment is tailored very specific to each individual child and their precipitating factors that brought them into treatment. We do have on staff 3 BCBAs and RBTs that work with the patients, where we're able to do true assessments and follow-up throughout the day-to-day interactions or interventions with the children in the short-term setting. With that being said, we are able to have treatment teams every day where the physician, the therapist, the nurse, and also some of the personnel that works individually with the child is able to come together and talk about the progression and what may be needed daily so we can change and get the child as stable as quick as possible to get them back into the community. Long-term care is a little bit more in depth, right? Not only do we have the, excuse me, the treatment that's going on with the individual child, but we also have education in our residential program.
I was just going to ask about that because I know parents are going to want to know what happens to my child in regards to their education. Because short term, 3 to 5 days out of school is one thing. Long term, that's a big chunk of time.
Absolutely. So we're looking at, again, long-term being on the average about 3 to 6 months. So, of course, you're wondering, well, what is my child going to do all day, right? And no, they're not just sitting in the in a room somewhere without anything to do. It's very intense. Our patients are going through school just like they would in the community. From school, they have a series of groups that they're attending. In school, the good thing about it is that we have all special ed teachers with also paraprofessionals in the classroom. So they're able to also assist with ensuring that not only are the child meeting their behavioral goals, but educationally we're able to keep up with the IEPs or change IEPs and really talk about what the child needs in this particular setting so that when they transition back into the school that they're going to, that everything is kind of set up for them to be successful. And that's really what we're looking for. Out of school, they're going through about 4 groups in the afternoon, which seems like a lot being back-to-back, but some of those groups are recreational therapy where they're able to get movement and play. And they're also getting these services in the acute care as well, I forgot to mention. But those services are those personnel that's providing those services are able to kind of draw everything together to really tailor their plan to help the child and the next provider be able to continue on the road of success and recovery that we are looking for our patients.
With me today, Corey Jackson, the CEO of Laurel Heights Hospital, which has many different programs, both short-term and long-term. When we get back, we're going to find out what the process is after your child is released. Stay with me.
There is a reason that Atlanta Swim Academy is #1, with over 760 5-star Google reviews. We are the absolute leading swim school in the greater Atlanta area. We are Atlanta Swim Academy.
Welcome back to Life with the Spectrum. I'm your host, Gina Cavalli. With me today, Corey Jackson, CEO of Laurel Heights Hospital. Now, Corey, once a child is, and we'll use both short-term and long-term, when a child is, discharged short-term, is there any follow-up? And what should a parent kind of look for as far as follow-up when a child gets discharged from the hospital?
Absolutely. Discharge is a great thing, right?
Right.
It gives the child the opportunity to return to the community. I think the parents or the guardians are very, very much anxious during this time because there was something dramatic or traumatic that may have brought them to our short-term program. And so, like anyone else, we would hope that that behavior doesn't rear its head again, right? So how do we continue to hopefully prevent that from happening? Right. So the therapist that is going to work with their child will really talk with the parent or the guardian to kind of build up a plan for upon discharge, which will include your outpatient provider. So our therapists will outreach the outpatient provider to set up services so when the day of discharge come, they're able to have whatever services we deem needed from the community already set up by the time they leave the door. the biggest piece of this also is ensuring that we keep those appointments, right? Especially with the autism population. The services for outpatient autism population is one that can be very
tricky,
very delayed, or I don't want to say delayed, but there's not a lot of resources there. So once you're able to have those resources set, you want to keep that date because somebody is waiting to get in very quickly if you don't meet that, continue to meet that date. So outpatient services, we set up med management as well. Hopefully those things are, when they get here, they will be changed, maybe up, maybe down, maybe something added, but we want to continue with that as well. So keep it outpatient appointments, ensuring that inside of the community, those resources are shared with the therapist. And also we have the ability to look at whatever region that a child may come from, that we can also see the services that's provided and set up a real good aftercare plan.
So I know you probably have many of these, but do you care to share a major success story with a child that may have been at your hospital?
Absolutely, I can. And the one recently as last year, one of the children that was in treatment, they always wanted to work with the team members, and unfortunately we can't allow that because of the age difference.
Sure.
But this child mother actually called and said, I've been talking to my child about what they want to do, in the future and how they want to, as they're getting older, what kind of school things they want to do and sort of things. And she called and said, the one thing he told me is that he wanted to be a youth care worker like the people at Laurel Heights, and that they were so nice to him and was able to help him understand how to be, in quote unquote, a better person.
Terrific.
Right? And those are what those type of statements is what we do it for. You see the successes. You're able to see the child come into treatment at what some would consider the lowest point, and we're able to get them to a point to where they can go back into the community and really represent themselves and their families in a different way.
It's got to make your heart smile a little bit, knowing that you and your team there have helped with success for that child.
Absolutely.
Corey, how can people find you? Are you on socials? What's your website, phone number? Give us the inside skinny.
All right. For any assessments that you may need or looking for, please feel free to give us a call at 404-888-5475. That is our 24-hour admission line. So you can talk about admissions that you may want to happen, and our admission teams are able to do assessments as well. So you can set up an assessment for short-term stabilization if that is deemed needed. You also can find us on the website at www.laurelheightshospital.com. There you will find not only all of our programs that we have on campus, but you will also see some of the testimonials there. Also, you can find us on Facebook. Make sure you follow us on Facebook, and you will be able to see some of the great things that we're doing at the hospital. What you won't find on Facebook is anything from the children, because obviously we can't put that out there. But you will hear the things that we're doing for the children, and some of the staff members that's working with our children as well.
Sometimes it just takes that one person to make that connection with somebody, and it can change a person's stars in life. Isn't it right?
Absolutely, absolutely. I would always say when people ask, do you love what you do, as far as a profession? And I say, I do. I haven't worked in 15 years since I started working with adolescents. And this is truly one of those fields where you come in and you may think about it one way because you've read or went through school or seen things on TV.
Sure.
But once you're in it and you make the connection and you really understand that this is a very selfless field in the industry that we're in, and at the end of the day, when you see a person achieve their greatness, it's something to smile at.
Well, I can't thank you enough for connecting with me and our viewers today. Corey Jackson, CEO of Laurel Heights Hospital, thank you so much for being on the show.
Gina, it was an honor and a pleasure to be a part of your podcast today, and thank you for the work that you're doing for the community.
What great information Corey had at Laurel Heights Hospital that if you as a family need to think about putting your child in some sort of residential program and treatment program, that Laurel Heights Hospital is here to help. They do accept insurance. They can talk to you and walk you through the next process. All you have to do is reach out. Thank you so much for reaching out to me here at Life with the Spectrum. Each and every week, it is my sole goal to bring you the latest in not just tools, resources, organizations, and foundations, but also hospitals, therapies, doctors, lawyers, everything. We run the gamut in the world of disability. And so I thank you for checking out Life with the Spectrum each and every week. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. And if you know somebody who's making a difference in the world of disability, I want to know about it so I can bring them on the show. Just reach out to me. You can comment below, DM me on socials, or gcast.com, GKASTS.com, and you can write an email to me right there on the website. Again, until next time, we live life with the Spectrum. See ya.
Bye.